Hello lettering friends, I'm Sarah from Ensign Insights, and in this video I wanted to share with you my process to lay out a quote for hand lettering. I know a lot of people really struggle with the layout and composition, but the thing is that there are no rules when it comes to laying out a quote. The beauty of hand lettering means that you get to do it yourself and it's your own creativity. So what I'm going to show you here is just the process that I went through to do just this one quote. This was just for this specific quote and what I felt like doing at this time. So first I just pencil out the quote, and then you can see I wrote it out in a couple different ways. I did the wide way first, but then I decided I really wanted it the long ways. So then I got a different piece of paper and I lettered it in the size that I wanted, and I erased this many times. So that sketch you see right there has been erased like 1,000 times. And then I started trying different things with the Karen markers that I was using, trying out the different colors. I kind of had an idea of what colors I wanted because I really like using rainbow colors and the black to make it stand out. Here are the variations that I went through. I think too often we just see the finished product instead of what it went through to get to that point. So that's what I'm going to show you. First of all, I wanted to use Karen markers. So that was my basis for starting this project. I was going to use Karen markers. And here's a quick little ASMR for those of you who like this. To start out, here is some real-time lettering. You can see that it is slow. I know some of you like watching how slow it actually is. And I wanted to use these Karen markers, but I just was going off of the quote that I had lettered. I'm not tracing it here. I just wanted to see how it would work with these markers. And you can see that these markers are pretty large and I was doing small lettering. I just wanted to see if it would kind of give me that quirky feel that I was going for, where it's not super thin upstrokes. It's not a very big contrast between the upstrokes and downstrokes. And you may have noticed I did speed this up so it's no longer real time. And as I went through it, I decided that it wasn't really what I was going for. So looking at it, I had to decide what did I need to change in order to make it something that I liked better. I didn't like how they were squished together using the large brush pen for the smaller lettering. For my next try, I'm starting out in real time again to show you, and I decided to make this much larger so that with the same markers it looks like it is thinner and it can be a little bit more spread out. I'm still doing this same idea with courage being in rainbow and in the different font from the rest of the quote, and I'm still giving it that sort of quick and quirky, imperfect feel because I thought that was what went well with this quote. And looking at this one, once again, it wasn't exactly what I liked. It didn't seem to have the focal point enough. It was almost too spread out now, and I wanted to have more color. So for the next quote, I decided to add more color to see if that would change it up a little bit. And once again, I'm starting in real time and then speeding it up a little bit later. I decided to do rainbow from top to bottom, and this time I did like that there was more color. However, I felt like now there really was no focal point because the whole thing was too distracting. There was too much color. It was kind of hard to read smoothly. So I still was not happy with the result. By this point, it's really easy to get frustrated and feel like nothing's working. Why can't I figure out how to make this look right? And it came back to I really just liked my sketch that I had created. However, I couldn't trace over the sketch with Karen markers because then I would have the problem as I did in the first one with the large brush pen on small lettering, and that was too squished. So I decided to do some watercolor lettering using the Karen markers as the watercolor because I could use my little tiny water brush. This one that I'm using is from Kuretake, I believe, the brand. And with the wet brush, I just touch it onto the Karen marker and it picks up the ink. And then I'm using a light pad. I will link to the one below that I got. It was just a really cheap one from Amazon. And that way I can trace over my sketch. And I really like that look of watercolor lettering because it does give that imperfect feel. And I can do smaller lettering than I did with Karen markers. So that is one thing. If you like small lettering but you have really big brush pens, maybe that's one reason why you're not enjoying the lettering that you're creating. Maybe you need to try small lettering or the other way around. There are so many possibilities, and that is the whole point, that in laying out your quotes, there is not one right way to do it. The best part of hand lettering is that since it's done by hand, you get to create it for yourself. However, that also means that there's going to be a lot of mistakes and a lot of trial and error before getting to something that you really love. So I encourage you today, as you're practicing, as you are lettering out a quote, don't get discouraged when the first one isn't exactly what you wanted. Try sketching it out in different ways. And then even when you're laying it down with ink, know that you just might have to try a few different things and just really look at it instead of thinking, oh, this is all wrong, this is all bad, and throw it away. Instead, look at it and think, what could I do to make this better? What specifically am I not liking about this? What can I experiment with to see what could make it better? What would make me love this a little bit more? I hope those questions help you to not feel discouraged, because you're doing a great job. It just takes a lot of practice. I want to thank you for watching this video. Let me know if there's anything that surprised you about the process. And I'd love to hear if you have any other tips in your process behind lettering quotes. As always, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. Let's finish it off with a little more pen ASMR. I will see you next time.